All right, everybody, welcome to week 4 of the Heels Picks. Let's get the show started. Thursday night football. We got Dallas and Giants. Giants showed signs of life last week. It took to the point of where hey, they gotta show us something until you might actually believe in them. And Malik Neighbors might make something out of Daniel Jones. I think this team's significantly better with him on the team. And they really they showed some moxie this last week, and they honestly haven't been playing terrible football the last 2 weeks either. If they had a kicker 2 weeks ago, they might have won that game too. That was just a lot of unfortunate luck on their behalf. Dallas has looked like an absolute friggin' disaster lately. They got that big week 1 win, and then they just looked like not a good football team lately. This game's a lot closer than a lot of people would have thought even 3 weeks ago. I'm going to take the Giants at home. Giants by 1. Jaguars and Texans. Now, the Jaguars are just a dumpster fire. They're not a good team. They paid a lot of money to a guy who isn't good. Even last year, going into last year, I had a lot of. I was big on Trevor Lawrence. I thought, is their division to lose? It was said a bunch of times here on the podcast. I don't think. There's something's got to be done. You just made a big mistake, like weeks and weeks ago. You just signed this guy to that mega extension. In Houston last week, they got their asses handed to them, for lack of better terms. What are the problems there? Can they adjust? Can they fix that? A lot of these divisional games can be close, but Houston right now, even after that bad game from Houston, at least they've shown signs of life. At least they've won football games this year. And Jacksonville's just got to figure it out. I don't know how many more games they're going to lose in a row until they figure it out. But give me the Texans here by 6. Saints and Falcons. Saints got a little bit of a reality check. I still think they're a good football team. They have the pieces in place with their coordinator. I think they just needed a bit of you need to be humbled every now and then to kind of figure out where your problems are, how you can improve. Atlanta, they're a better team than their record indicates. I think this team's got a lot of potential this year, and 1 and 2 just doesn't reflect their improvements and the things that they've improved on this year. I think it's going to be a really good game, honestly. These two teams are on the same level, in my opinion. I'm going to take the Falcons here at home. Give me the Falcons by 3. Bengals and Panthers. The fact that, Carolina had got a win before Cincinnati is kind of surprising to literally everybody. The Bengals have had some tough matchups. They've caught some bad luck. I still think even at 0-3, this team probably still makes the playoffs. Their roster's too good. Is Burrow not as good as people might have thought he was? Maybe that run to the Super Bowl was like a one-time thing. I don't know. But I don't think so. Joe Burrow's got a lot of talent. He's a good quarterback. And I think they still have a solid team. Zach Moss gets the job done in the running back room. I think they're a solid team. Carolina, on the other hand, they showed signs of life, and maybe Bryce Young is the problem. Maybe Bryce Young just isn't a good quarterback. I watched a little bit of all 22 game film on him. It was Chase Daniel, former NFL quarterback. He does a lot of game tape for QBs and et cetera. And I watched a lot of that, his all 22 on some of his stuff, and Young just doesn't make a lot of good decisions. He's very antsy in the pocket, and he's just not ready for this. Is he ever going to be ready for this? I don't know. But Dalton made that offense look a lot better this last week. They looked competent. They're scoring. Like a lot of people, didn't see it coming. That them playing lights out like that. Maybe Bryce Young just needs to get it together. The Bengals are going to win their first game. It's got to happen, right? Give me the Bengals here by 10. Rams and Bears. Again, these are two teams that you start the year and you're they're both 1 and 2. I guess maybe Chicago might be a little it depends on your expectations, because Chicago, I kind of expect that. A lot of people were just through the moon about Caleb Williams and thought he was gonna go gangbuster at first, but again, he's a rookie. You gotta give it time. And and the Rams are hurting. The Rams are hurting big time. They're still dealing with all those receiver injuries, and leaves them in a bad spot. I think these are two teams where it's Caleb Williams lacks just being in the pro game, where on the other hand the Rams just got no good receivers to throw to. That kind of evens this whole matchup out. I'm going to take the Rams here by 3. Vikings and Packers. Malik Willis, man. He's really impressed me. Packers just still like it shows you they got a good team there. They have it's more than just Jordan Love. They drafted a lot of great young, talented receivers, ones that Aaron Rodgers would have died to have 6 years ago. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent on this Packers team. Despite quarterback issues, they have not seemed to have a problem. On the other hand, the Vikings, man. Sam Darnold, he's on a mission. He's on a mission to say, if you give me the right players, you give me the right coordinator, you put me in the right spot, I'll get it done for you. And I know that Jake had previously mentioned on a previous run of, I believe it was 1 or 2 weeks ago, that he thinks Sam Darnold's found a home. But at the same time, if he plays well enough, dude's going to want to keep starting. And, McCarthy, you draft him to be your future. He missed this year. It was unfortunate with his injury. You drafted him to be your future. So Darnold's not your future. You're not looking at Darnold like this is your guy for 5 years. It's not what it is. So Darnold's playing for a shot somewhere, in my opinion. Darnold is playing for a shot somewhere. He's playing lights out, and good for him. This should be a good game. I'm going to take the Vikings by 3. Steelers and Colts. I'm going to go on the same rant last week about the Steelers. If there's ever a 3-0 team that wasn't very impressive, it'd be them. It's just they're just the same. It's the same thing every year. You just try and figure it out, and it's just. But it's better. Like it's better than that 500 level because they're 3-0, and it's like, do they keep it up? Can they keep playing this well? Justin Fields, he's playing good enough to get it done. He's playing to the point of keeping Russell Wilson off the field when he is healthy. So good on him. Defense is doing their job. On the other hand, the Colts, they still got some stuff to figure out, man. Is Anthony Richardson the guy? It's like now you're starting to question it a little bit. I just think, again, he's still just raw to the game, raw to the pro game. It's not, he didn't play way too much last year. Only in week 4 this year. Give that time to develop. Give that time for him to find himself. Call it hating or whatever you want. Pittsburgh's gonna lose a game somewhere down the line, right? I'm gonna take the Colts. Colts by 3. Broncos and Jets. Denver showing signs of life, man. This is a game might be a little more interesting than people may have thought. And the Jets, they're not gonna impress me. It's just they got their wins, etc. But to me, when they play real teams, when the moment comes up, I don't think they're built to win a big game. I just don't think it. With Rodgers as old as he is, with one hit away from it being over, I don't see it. They're good enough to beat mid-level teams. They're good enough to beat good teams. I don't know if they're good enough to beat great teams. And this is a matchup where it's on their even keel, maybe even lesser talented. Denver still got some work to do. I think the Jets are the better team. They're going to win this game. Jets by 7. Eagles and Bucks. The old Brian Terrible seems to be every friggin' year now. Seriously, since we started this podcast, I think it's happened every single year since we started this podcast. This is 2 teams just, Philly's trying to figure it out. Tampa Bay got a little slap of reality last week, and as Brian said one of our group chats, I guess Sean Payton just has our number. It's tough pill to swallow, especially at home. I think Tampa Bay is going to collect themselves after that game. I think, again, it's one of those games you just got to get humbled, see where your problems are, see how someone was able to just counteract you and smack you around, especially when you thought you had the better team. And I think they're gonna put that to good use. They're gonna put that to good use this next week. I'm gonna take the Buccaneers by 3 here. Washington, Arizona. Man, I think Jaden Daniels might be another one of my new favorite quarterbacks to watch. That dude is impressive, and I think I remember reading and looking up about it. His old college, that I can't remember which university it was from, but when he got sent, when he left the team, his old team said he was garbage, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna be better off without him. And now they're all lawyers, or not even lawyers. They're house salesmen, or they're doing side jobs. Well, this guy's a pro, a top tier level pro already. This is 3 games into his career, man. You love to see stories like that. And they said he was garbage, and they didn't need him. And he's very easy to root for, and I actually really like him as a quarterback. Arizona, they are very up and down. They are very 3 weeks in, I don't know what to read out of them yet. I don't know I think they're middle of the pack. I don't have a base on them yet. I really don't. After watching 3 weeks of football from them, they blew the Buffalo game. They dominate the Rams. Give me Washington. I have a confidence in Washington after watching them in the second Monday game while flipping to on when the Bills game was on commercials. I like Washington here. Give me Washington by 10. Patriots Niners. Again, this is another one of those games that week 1 you would have said, man, the Niners definitely got this. But New England show a lot of grit. They show a lot of grit. And San Fran just haven't, after they looked impressive week 1 and just 2 straight games not getting it done. And I think that this could be another one of those you didn't think it was going to be this even, but it is games. And I think New England's going to give them a good run for their money. I'm not going to say they're going to win because I don't think so. I'm going to take the 49ers here by 7. Chiefs and Chargers. Now, the Chargers thought over the last 2-3 years that, hey, we could start running with Kansas City. I think this might be the start of that moment. With Harbaugh running the team, there's a lot of confidence that I do have in this team. Despite what happened last week, I'm actually very high on them. And in these division games, brings the best out of teams, and Kansas City, despite their 3-0, they've been fortunate on calls. They're 3-0, but it's kind of like when I look at Pittsburgh, ironically, it's like they just haven't impressed me. They haven't looked like the dominant team we've seen before. They look like a team that's just getting by. And, that can be concerning. Down the road, again, they've had bad stretches where they finish up and they're Super Bowl champions. So, plenty of time to figure it out. They haven't looked very impressive. Travis Kelce hasn't looked impressive. Maybe Taylor Swift broke up with him and we don't know about it. I don't know. Something happened there. Very interested in this game. I could see it being a fireworks game back and forth. I'm going to take the Chargers. Give me the Chargers here by 6. Browns and Raiders, and 2 teams that Cleveland, their expectations were higher. And so far from how they played, I'm sure that this is massive disappointment. Being a Browns fan is just equivalent to being a Bills fan in many ways in terms of history and, being let down, etc. And then on the Raiders side, I didn't expect a lot out of them this year anyways. And they just didn't show up last week. So this game is even to me. This game is a game where all these teams are just look the same to me, where they're just not very good. They're just not very good. Cleveland, I think somewhere down the line they might have a little bit of hope to get better down the way, but they don't look like that same team that was on a run with Joe Flacco doing his thing last year. But I will take them here. I will take the Browns here by 1. Sunday night, Bills Ravens. Oh man, feels good. Feels good. Okay. You get a locker room cancer like Stephon Diggs out, and all of a sudden your offense just flows. It was flowing down the backstretch, and this was just like people were predicting the demise of the Bills. Oh, Josh Allen doesn't have Diggs. This whole offense is going to fall apart. If you were paying any attention down the last 6 games of last season when they went on their run after the Eagles lost in overtime, Joe Brady took over, and he did take over during the Eagles game and they lost. From that point forward, Diggs was getting targeted less. Ball was going around to everybody, even distribution. Game plan changing. The previous week, Buffalo is run against Miami. Josh Allen's just standing in the background. And then they see Jacksonville playing different, playing one safety. It's just like, all right, time to throw it. We're going to throw all over them. We're going to adjust the game plan because Joe Brady has a brain. I just don't want him to keep excelling way too much because he's going to end up as somebody's head coach next year. We're going to run to the Brian Daboll thing again. And then God, if I have to deal with another offensive coordinator that's anything like Ken Dorsey, I might. Anyways, my point is this team can do anything. This team can rock with whatever game plan they need to rock with, and it's showing. It's showing. This team looks happy. They look confident. They're playing freely. The defense has been playing absolutely amazing despite so many injuries, despite missing Terrell Bernard, despite missing Taron Johnson, despite missing Matt Milano. This defense has been impressive. It's a feel-good moment for Damar Hamlin, and that interception. A lot of people might feel whatever way they want to as this saga has gone along. But as someone who personally watched a friend die on a football field from a similar incident, I see that friend of mine living through Damar Hamlin, and every time I see that, it is him, my friend Davion Price. Rest in peace. That is him if he had actually gotten the proper medical attention he needed. Through that is why it means more to me and a select amount of people that I know that it'll always mean more. It means so much. And despite that, regardless if you've lived that situation or not, it's a great story regardless. And so all these stupid friggin' Make-A-Wish jokes that you hear about that crap all the time, set it to rest. Set it to rest. Guy has earned his spot. He had already earned his spot when he got hurt, when the incident happened. Leave it be. Leave it be. Baltimore, they 1-2. Did anybody see them being at this point? You know what I mean? They have not been playing the greatest football themselves, and they have the benefit of playing at home. This might be game of the week, and I think it will be. I think the Ravens are going to give that defense a real challenge. I think they're going. It's going to be an interesting watch. It's going to be Jackson and Allen. It's a good matchup. It's a prime matchup in the AFC. Give me the Bills by 3. Titans and Dolphins. Miami that was pretty ugly last week. Till they figure that out, they're just gonna be a bad team. As much as we dump on Tua, as I dump on Tua, he's best they got. He's the best option they have. Everything else underneath, maybe if Pro Bowl Tyler Huntley shows up this week, they can, maybe go right the ship a little bit, make him competent. This team's going nowhere. If Tua doesn't come back, which he shouldn't, he should think about his family and his safety and all that. I'm thinking about the man. He should retire. But regardless, if he decides he needs to keep going and comes back, then that's the only thing that's going to save this team. Otherwise, this team is DOA. On the other side, Tennessee, they got some stuff to get in order. They do. I didn't really have high expectations for them this season regardless, but I think this is a perfect opportunity for them to win a football game. If you can't beat Pro Bowl Tyler Huntley, if you can't beat Skylar Thompson or whatever they got over there, call it a season. Give me the Titans here barely by 1. And I believe this is the final game, Seahawks and Lions. 2 teams that I actually like a lot. They, Seattle being at 3-0. Did anybody see that? Anybody see that coming? Tell you, man, they especially after the Pete Carroll era ends. Geno Smith a couple seasons ago, he showed up like, hey, I'm here. Last year, I don't know what was wrong with him. Maybe I honestly can't put it together. Maybe it was just some years he just aren't on. I think this year he's clearly he's gotten back whatever confidence he was lacking last year. However, he's figured it out, and it's crazy how more stable he's been versus the guy who replaced Russell Wilson. Like, people thought they were goners, they were done, including me, that they were screwed and it was over for him, man. Good for Geno Smith, good for that team. They're going to keep it rolling this year. They're going to be a playoff team, at the rate they're playing football right now. On the Lions end, I really like that team. Really like what they're doing. 2-1. It's probably about what you expect out of them at this point. They're going to keep playing their brand of football, and very excited for this game. It's going to be a lot of these games feel even matched this week, and I think this is going to be another one. It's going to be a fun game to watch. Give me the Lions handing Seattle their first loss this week by 6. And that'll be it for the Heels picks this week. Please, everybody, give us them likes, views, subscribes, all the above. I'm trying to build this channel back up. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.